Hey everybody, I'm gonna do a quick knife review. Gonna try to be upbeat. It's been a fucking rough couple days, man. Um, Remember Max the Pity, my big pit bull, the white and orange one. That's been my buddy and companion for the last couple of years since he was a pup, and done a bunch of videos with him. And he's like the official dog of Dave's Garage. Well, he had to be put down yesterday, so he's been getting aggressive despite his training, and it's been really sucks because it was an awesome dog 99% of the time, but then that 1% of the time was unpredictable and was getting into it with other dogs and wouldn't stop. And I had to put him down. When I say put him down, I meant I had to put him down personally. So yesterday was a rough day, and so I'm just trying to keep a little busy. And my wife was like, take a break from the channel and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but I have these here, and it's like, I don't know, maybe just for a little while, just kind of zone out and go into autopilot and do some of my stuff and just try not to think about my guy, because I miss him. So what we've got is one of these I've reviewed before, but I got another one, and for some reason I gave it away as a gift and wanted to, let's get that one out of the way first. So this is another one of those. It's a clone. It's not a copy. It's not a counterfeit. It's a company called Land, which I think is SRM, Sanrenmu. I think is the actual company, the parent company. I don't know. They make some decent little knives. Yes, it's out of China. It's actually a nice little knife from what I remember. I had one in black before, but then I saw one in green with the blue, dark blue thumb stud. And it's a nice little knife. It's a little beefy for its size, but the action's sweet. It's on ball bearings. It's got really pretty much spot on blade centering. I mean, it looks pretty damn good to me. Action's really nice. I like the cutaway here, and you've got your jimping on the liner lock. So it's a pretty nice little knife. It's definitely got some things going for it. I'll put a link in the description, but I think it was less than $30. Might have been closer to $20. It's very cheap. Now let's put this around so it actually makes sense. Weight-wise, it's probably close to the 4-ounce, somewhere there. It's not a lightweight by any means. It's not going to replace your bug out. But you're looking at a 3.5-inch almost overall blade. Cutting edge is about 3 1/8. And it's just a scooch under 8 inches overall. I got this with the green olive drab G10. It's over lightened stainless steel liners. Mentioned ceramic ball bearings. It is a liner lock. Lockup's good. Pretty sweet action. It's not quite drop shutty, but it is nice. And of course, these things smooth out, and I could probably put some oil or something on the bearings themselves and on the pivot. It is reversible, so if you like tip up, lefty or righty, it only uses a single screw. It's not deep carry. Tension is, it's a little on the beefy side. I will probably bend that out just a tiny bit. I don't think for me it needs to be, yeah, that's a little better. It's not that deep. You'll have a little bit peeking out of the pocket there. But the way it's only a single screw, but it does fit into a channel, so it keeps it from moving around. It doesn't wiggle too much. It's not a high-end knife. It's 12C27, so it's a Sandvik, basic steel. It's a decent little knife steel. So size comparison, one of my favorites, the Native 5 from Spyderco, and my Kaiser T1. So it's on the larger size of EDC, but it's not unmanageable, anything like that. But it is a decent size. The other one I've got, man, I'm so freaking low energy today, man. This is just, I'm not feeling it. Just a sucky day. Yesterday was not how I saw my day going. But this one is a Sencut, and this is my first Sencut. And I've been wanting one for a while. They're very similar to Civivi in their constructions. There may even be some cross-ownership. I mean, Civivi is the lower end, the affordable versions of We Knife Company, just like Bird is the lower end company of Spyderco, BYRD, look them up. And then you've got, what are some others? There's Artisan Cutlery is the higher end. Then they got CJRB. This one is an interesting one. It's a button lock, which I'm kind of warming up to. I didn't like them on some blades, but then I've got my, what is it? I didn't like it on the Elementum, but my CJRB Pyrite, really cool. By the way, really nice little carry case. Comes with some nice stickers and decals. I think they have common ownership with Civivi because they use the same, other than the logo, they use the same pouches. They come with the same basic package with the same, only the other ones is an Elementum for Civivi, but it comes with the same type of warning, the same type of cloth. I think they're part of the same company. But this is the Watauga. And so you've got a really nice, and they've really started doing a really good job, these guys, I guess, and Civivi lately with their micarta. So it's over black scales that are milled out inside quite a bit, so they are lightened significantly. The blade on this bad guy, and I think this one's D2 steel, is a solid 3.5 inch with, again, 3.25 inch. Overall length is just a little bit bigger than the Land. And you're looking at right at 8. This has a deep carry pocket clip. And what I like about it is right to the end and flush mount screws. So very minimalist construction. If you want a lanyard, there's a post right there you can loop it through. So I like this. I don't like it when they just drill holes in the knife. Here, at least, it looks like it's machined in, and that to me doesn't look bad. When you just drill a hole through the damn knife, I don't know. I'm not digging it. Well, actually, that's not. I take that back. That is for, well, you know what? That's kind of weird. I guess you could put a lanyard through there. The problem is you'd have to run it under the pocket clip. Like, I'm not sure how you would do that because it does go all the way through. But anyway, my heart is not in it, guys. I'm trying to do it and get through this. But what it is a really nice long Warncliffe blade. Warncliffe. Yeah, Warncliffe. The action is pretty sweet. It's going to have to break in. Out of the box, it actually wobbled. They didn't tighten it down that much. So I just took my little Husky Torx bit screws and tightened it down and didn't oil it. I'll probably, again, take it apart later. But the action on it's really smooth. It's not, I mean, it's pretty light. It's pretty smooth. It's not as good as like my bug out is now that it's worn in and some of my other knives like the Pyrite. But it's brand new. Let me play with it for a little while. Let me take it apart and put some oil on there and stuff. And I'm sure I keep going to use the liner lock and it's not there. What I do like about this is it's actually lighter. Like, this is definitely heavier. This, I want to say, is probably down in the high 3 ounce range, maybe 3.8, 3.9, somewhere in there. I don't think it's over 4. It doesn't feel like it. The action on it is smooth. It's very smooth, but it's not as lightning fast as this. You see how quickly that just closes? This thing just fires hard, and you don't have to flick it and do it hard. Just give it a little bit of flick on that thumb stud. And as soon as it breaks that detent, that thing just flies open and slides shut pretty well. This'll, if you give it a flick, it'll slide shut. This is a flipper, so there is no thumb stud. Now, there is a little bit of a fuller there, so I think you can do it. Yeah, you can do a reverse flick if you want. It feels like your thumb's going to come out, like your finger's going to come out of it, and you're not going to get it. But because it's such a light action, the detent is not super heavy. I can make it snap out if I want. So if you drop it, this knife is probably going to pop open. But with that light detent, you can get it. It's just barely deep enough. If I had a longer fingernail right there, maybe it would grab it a little bit better. But it can be done. And what I like about this, unlike that Asher TI that I've got, Asher Knives or whatever it is, that one is all polished titanium handles. So when you go to flick it, more often than not, I flick the knife. It has enough of a detent that as I push this, if you're not really gripping it tight, the knife ends up flicking out of your hand and it opens in midair, and I've almost stabbed myself in the foot like 3 times with it. This isn't too bad. The micarta is very grippy. It's on par with the Kaiser. The weave is a little different, but you can hear it. Hear that? It's got grip. It's really nice. Ergonomics are spot on. It fills my hand really well. It does have a generous choil, and I can get my whole knuckle up in there and still have a little bit of a gap. Now, you want to be careful. You don't want to go too far because that point is going to go right into you. It's sharp. It feels pretty damn sharp. But you can very easily choke up. The jimping is good, just enough. But with that blade, this is a great utility knife. This is a great knife if you're just whittling or doing something. You got a really nice fine point. It's hard to see. Of course, I keep banging in the damn camera. But you got a swedgel on the top. They have them in a stonewash blade with G10 handles. I've just been really digging micarta. G10 used to feel really nice to me, but then once you get used to micarta, this feels cheap. I like the blade shape on this thing, though. That's definitely a Sebenza. It's definitely a copy of a Sebenza design. Different because it's using G10 and some other stuff in it. Doesn't say Chris Reeve or any of that stuff on it. But it's definitely, that's what they were modeled after. But this Watauga is pretty good. I like the button lock execution of this. The lockup on that's pretty good. I mean, you got to push that in almost past flush. There's not a lot sticking out there. So you don't have this big honking button that you're holding it and you accidentally kind of push it. I'm pushing my thumb directly into that as hard as I can, and it's not unlocking. It's wiggling a little. It's definitely pushing it enough to loosen it, but you really have to get in with the tip of your thumb and push that in. Just pushing your thumb against it. Well, there I can do it. But when you're gripping it this way, the side of your thumb, well, there, you're definitely not going to do it. But I'm taking the part of my thumb that protrudes. Well, I guess I can get it to do it. All right, you know what? I'm a liar. Apparently, you can. Now, in the course of normally using it, your thumb's not there. If your thumb's up here, you're doing it this way. That's my only concern with button locks. I feel like it's right there. I could be doing something and I grip and I'm doing something and then I push it accidentally and somehow it's going to close on my fingers. Whereas with the liner lock, I mean, I guess you could, if you were holding it weird or something like that, and tried pushing into something, but you typically wouldn't. Your hand would be like this. So, and with a lock back, I guess I used to feel that way. And I guess there are times if you were holding it some weird, I mean, I guess with anything, with any lock, if you held it a certain way, it's potential you could unlock it. But for normal everyday tasks, I don't see it being a problem. How does it come? Ooh. That is pretty damn sharp right out of the box. Will it do a push test? Oh, really nice. Damn. That is a very nice edge from the factory. I did it nice and slow just to see if it would start tearing or do anything or dragging, and it's really nice. That's a good factory edge. Not even going to tune that up. No reason to. So that's the Sencut Watauga. It is D2. It is deep carry. The deep carry is reversible. So if you're a lefty, the only problem with the lefty is, to unlock it, you can still flip it. You just use your other finger. So button locks, I guess, I'm using my thumb here to lock it or unlock it. On this side, you flip it just as easily, and then you just use your finger. So I would say that is truly ambidextrous. Not ambidextrous, as some people say. But that tip is, I just let the weight of the knife on it, and it's doing a pretty good job of slicing. That's a really nice edge. Now, what about the Land 911? Yeah, it's the 911. The 910 is the black one. Huh. Not bad. That edge is just about as good. We'll do a push test. Oh, effortlessly. Yeah, damn. These are two of the better edged blades that I've had in a while. Most of them do really good on the paper cut, but the push test is always like 50-50. It's like, will the Spyderco even do it? Yeah, that's a scalpel. That one I've also stropped. But, yeah, man. These are some great knives. If you want to spend like 100-ish This is the lightweight version of the Native 5. Great little lockback. I was carrying the Dragonfly for a while, but the Dragonfly was just a little flimsy and flexible. I mean, a great knife. I didn't feel like I was going to break it, but for not much more weight and not really any, barely bigger in the pocket, I just feel like this is a bit more robust. If I had to really push or cut on this, to me, it just feels more substantial. But I've been carrying this one a lot lately, just because of the action. The Micarta 154 CM, this is just a fantastic blade, the Kaiser T1. But the Land 911, if you want a Sebenza clone, right on Amazon, I'll put a link in the description. But this thing has just, that is just a really nice edge. Right up to the tip. Yeah. And then this guy with that Wharncliffe, I like Wharncliffe blades. You know, you think about like, oh, if I'm using it defensively, I'm doing this and that, but what's the reality? You know, most of the time, you're just opening boxes or cutting stuff. And sometimes it's good to have that bit of belly on the blade. But then that utilitarian style, that utility knife blade, basically, you know, it obviously still slices paper and it'll cut rope and stuff. It might not slice your tomatoes quite as nice as something like that. But I don't know, you look at some of the chef knives or some of the things I've got some really, you know, nice kitchen cutlery. And those have a straight edge on most of them, and they're good for chopping vegetables and stuff. So I feel like this would be good for those tasks. I just like it. That's a really nice knife. That's the Sencut Watauga. I'm going to look at some of the other Sencuts. They've impressed me like Civivi, and I've been a massive Civivi fanboy for a long time and playing with their stuff. Oh, that is just some of the sweetest action. That thing is so satisfying. It's just bam. Almost as good. Doesn't have that same sound. There's something about that. And that's more of a snick. A little bit more stealthy. Not bad, though. It'll break in a little bit. So there you have it. Those are the two new ones. The Land 911, I give it a big thumbs up. For $24 or whatever the hell this was, I'll get the exact price in a while. Can't go wrong. And then Sencut, give these guys a look, man. Some of their new knives are really, really sweet. And this one just, I don't know, it just looked cool. I like the black stone wash. If you look at it in the light, it's not as good as like a PVD coating. You can see little bits, you know, like stone wash, that little bits of imperfection. But that's okay, because when you use it, you're going to scuff up the blade anyway. And that's why I don't normally get these kinds of blades that are black unless it's black wash. Because then it's like, if I scuff it, it's already pre-scuffed. I don't need to worry about it. It's going to not look funny like I've... Not that, I know some people are going to say, well, it doesn't matter. Use the knife. Who cares how it looks? I get that, but it's nice to have something that works really well and looks good too, right? All right, we went a little long here, but the first minute and a half was me talking about my pup. And we covered 2 knives in 18 minutes, so I feel like we did all right here. So I'll put the links to my Amazon page. If you like either of these, go scoop one up. If you just want something cheap, throw in the pocket of the toolbox or whatever, glove box, you don't want to spend a fortune, but you want something that's pretty damn stout and nice lockup, and it's got a fairly stiff blade, and it's beveled nice, and, you know, it looks like a Sebenza that doesn't cost $500, you know. Is it going to be as good as a $500 Sebenza? No. But when you can buy, I don't know, 15 of these or whatever, 20 of these for what you pay for one Sebenza, you know, maybe that means you should pick one up. These will make a great gift for somebody. So, folks, that's all I got, man. I'm out of it. I'm going to go watch some TV and hang out with my remaining dogs and try to just chill out for a while. So, thanks for listening. Hit like and subscribe. If there's any other bargain knives you want me to review, think I should check out, think I might find interesting, throw them in the comments.